Hi guys, thanks for joining me while I'm sitting here in my cozy chair having a good time. I hope you will have a good time too, because I've made a new album. And I call the album Future Sonata, because it's filled with lots of nice synthesizer melodies and sounds, cool grooves, nice bass lines, everything you need. And it's all original music, of course. I composed and recorded all the parts. But I did it quite light-heartedly, you know. It's not a heavy and dark album. Well, it's still, let's say, futuristic night music. You know, you're in a future city, rainy night, you get out of the bar, into the neon lights, walk down the streets, maybe you see flying cars, and some crazy robots look at you. Something like that. And now that the album is done, I think it's a cool idea to have a little listening session together, you know, but we will not listen to the final tracks, because you can do that on your own. The links are in the show notes and all over the place. No, let's better open the door and look at the mixes of, let's say, every other song. In other words, there are 12 tracks on the album, and in this video, let's look at track 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 and 11 for a total of 6 tracks. But I will only play some spots to you that I think that are quite interesting, and also to make sure that you still have enough to discover yourself. And also don't forget to leave a comment and do all the good things to support the channel, okay? Thank you very much. Let's go. So we're looking at the final mix of the first track, Letter to the Past, which is a mellow track. The album starts softly and a little bit melancholic, of course. We have an e-piano here and also a very nice synthesizer melody which sets the tone of the album, you know. So this kind of sound leads us through it's like a red line that leads through the whole album. And I think it's the best. I finally hit play. What do you think? Voices. Very atmospheric beginning of the album, and I told you it's a bit of futuristic night music. And I also like this little drum fill here that is only the click sound, and I remove all the reverb on the click so that it sounds really direct. Such little details, you know. And now let's listen from here, where the pad comes in. It's a nice variation, and I also play the melody again with also a variation and a different synthesizer sound, and I also change the groove. That's quite interesting. Oops. And when we continue with that track, the pad gets more prominent here, and while I remove other parts, and I have some more variations here, and I leave a lot of space in this area. And what is this? I'm not really sure. Let's listen. So when you listen to the final track, Letter to the Past, you will notice that the melody is a bit repetitive maybe, but it's not always the same. It seems so, but it's not really the same. I add some variations here and there, and sometimes I play the melody with the first sound and sometimes with this sound, and then I'm adding here a high voice, an octave, and there are many like hidden details, you can say, and I like this very much. And I think it's a very nice opener for that album. And I hope when you listen to the track you kind of understand what's going on and you like it that much that you want to listen to the second track of the album, and even better to the whole album. But we won't do that right now. We will go on to track number 3. And this one is called Forward March, because it has this marching rhythm, and it's pretty cool, I think. And now something really crazy is happening, because when I'm working on an album, I come up with a template, with a project template that features many different sounds. You can see it here, 2 pianos and 3 pad sounds, 3 bass sounds or whatever, maybe even more, some plug sounds, and different drum sounds as well, so that I have something to work with and I don't need to come up with new sounds for every track. But what I always want to do when I create such a template, I also want to have some really crazy sounds going on, not only a nice piano sound and a beautiful e-piano and strings and all that. No, I also want some really crazy sounds, and this is this piano 2 here. I kind of destroyed it and played really weird stuff, and I really like that contrast in the music. It's happening in 3 or 4 tracks, I think, or maybe only 2 or 3. It doesn't matter, okay? Just listen to this part here. Okay, interesting sound. Sometimes I even play a little solo, but I don't go too far. Don't worry, okay? I don't go too far with that. Yeah, but I really love the contrast, and this is a typical example for these situations you have when you produce a song. Sometimes you have a sound that you really hate. It sounds ugly and wrong, but these sounds are often the best and very original sounding, okay? I hope this is exactly what we're dealing with here. Let's go on with this part. This part is also very interesting and features some cool sounds and these swells. And this sound, da-da-da-da-da-da, I really toned down. It was heavily distorted in my first version, and I really liked it, but I thought it's a bit too much, Sometimes you do stuff, when people think it's a mistake, you have a problem, or they have a problem. Okay, and this happened here. The plug 2 sound it's still pretty distorted, but it was way worse, okay? It was really heavily distorted, and I thought it's better to tone it down a little bit. And the next section here is also very interesting, because when I make such simple music, light-hearted music, night music, or night-hearted music, I also want to add some more musicality, some compose parts. You know, the album is called Future Sonata for a reason. So I've made this little chromatic part here. You will hear it right now. And have you noticed the time signature change? No, it's right here. Perfect, you know, this is the best signature change ever when nobody noticed. I very often only notice that there is a timing, a signature change when I set up the tempo track and the arrangement. And the reason for this 5-4 bar here is only that a 4-4 was too short for this transition here. Okay, that's the only reason, so I've added a quarter note, that's all. But enough of forward march, let's go to the next track, number 5. And this one is called Who Is There? You will notice the little joke I've made when you read the track list. And by the way, did you know that I also have an official website for this channel, thegroundnoise.com? You can check it out, and I hope the loading times are not too insane. But I still believe that a personal homepage is a very important thing to have. And of course, you don't need an account or whatever, and there is no newsletter and such BS. I'm really not into that. And who knows, maybe in the future I can give away downloads and files or whatever. But no pressure, I just wanted to mention it. Let's go back to the listening session here. Who Is There is the 5th track on the album, and I thought after having like the opener and then quite interesting and groovy tracks, now it's time to start a track a little bit more spacey and open with a longer intro, you know, with pad sounds. Let's listen to the intro because I think it's very nice. Okay, enjoy. I love this track. I simply love this track. It's so beautiful. Okay, that was Who's There. I think we've heard enough of that song, although there is much more to come, as you can see. But no, let's go on to the next track. And this is track number 7, and it's called Icosphere, because it's dedicated to an icosphere, which is an icosphere. I wrote this song after I had just learned to use Blender, the 3D program Blender, and you often have to deal with an icosphere in such a 3D program. So it's quite nerdy here, and the song is straightforward, and I think maybe it's a good idea I show you this part. And it has a nice disco bass, like so an octave bass. Okay, very cool, and the sequence is also very nice. Because it has a very nice rhythmic. It plays always the same notes but with a different rhythm so that it moves around the bar. It's very interesting. It's one of my key signature moves to write such parts. very nice and simple, easy-going, straightforward electro track. And it's only there to raise the excitement for the title track, Future Sonata, which comes right after this one. But we will not listen to that. You can do that, you know. You should listen to Future Sonata because, yeah, it's kind of buried in the album, track number 8. But enough about the title track. We don't even listen to. You know, if you like, we can make another part of this series here and check out the other tracks, okay, the other 6 tracks. But for now, let's go on to the next song. And I called this song 9 because it's the 9th track. Yeah, I know it's a bit cheesy to do it like that, but it is what it is. And this song is very interesting because not only we hear some scratchy noises, I don't know what that is, I can't remember. But what I want to tell you is when I make an album, I always want to have like 1 or 2 shuffle sounds, shuffle songs on it, okay? Not only straight music, also a little bit of shuffle feel. And this is very interesting because this track here is, I made it a 3/4, but it's actually a 9/8, like a tripled 3/4, and you don't hear such things very often. So it's basically really you can count to 3. It's the easiest way and play it with a shuffle feel, with a triplet feel. And I think it's interesting in the beginning, so once after you notice what's going on with the beat, okay? It's also very atmospheric and open, spacey. There you have it. The night music is back. The moody night music of that neon light, future city, whatever. And maybe one word about the melody. This one was a bit tricky because it's a weird feeling. As a drummer, I can play such beats while I'm sleeping, to be honest. But when you write a melody, it's not so easy. The way I do it is always by jamming. All the melodies on the albums I jammed. Okay, I have the chord section, whatever, in the groove going on, a bass, maybe only a bass, and then I start jamming. I loop that part and I play and I play and I play until I come up with cool lines that I like, and then I repeat them and add more lines to it. And this also happened here in this song. It's just jamming and jamming until you find something that's cool, that you like. So now, close to the end of the track, I'm adding a snare drum to give the song more dynamics. And when you add a snare drum, like in a rocking way, to a 3/4 bar, it's the best you can do is maybe on the 3. I like to play it on the 3. The 3 is very strong in a 3/4 time signature, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You know, you will hear it right now. And later I also play it like it was a normal bar, you know, in 4/4. I hit the snare on 2 and 4, but there is no 4. You know what I mean? So it's on the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Listen. and I just mentioned the word dynamics. The whole album and the track list has to be dynamic. What I mean by that is, we had the opener and some groovy tracks. Then we had the track number 5, Who's There, with a long intro, a little bit spacey intro. And then the title track appears on number 8 in the middle of the album. What we do after a title track, after that climax, it's time to tone everything down. What we do here in this track, and I can tell you that track number 10, the next track, is really catchy and powerful. It's also a shuffle groove, but it's a very uplifting number that's called Bring It On, and I think the title says it all. And then we have another slot before we come to the last song, and the last song on an album for me is perfect when it's a little bit epic and slow and with an open end, a typical last song on the album. This means something to me. But between the uplifting number on Bring It on number 10 and the last song on the album, I wanted to have another powerful song, okay, to really go all in. And so I decided for a drum and bass thing. It's kind of drum and bassy with some cool beats, and I think we listen to the first half or something like this, okay? Very syncopated. And robotic. Now. And a glimpse of a melody. Also very lyrical melody at the end here. And this piece is very interesting here. Look at this moment here, because it's basically the same drum part all of the time, but I copied it, and here's a filter going on, so I filter this sound here, and then I open the filter. This part is the clean part. When it's a chorus, okay, and this is a nice trick I always do, or I like to do, so that I have a filter on my drums, and when the chorus starts, I open the filter and it sounds wide and open and loud and cool. And I also go change the beat a little bit. It's not so syncopated anymore in the chorus. It has a backbeat. Okay, here we have the doom doom dak doom dak doom doom dak doom dak, and now it's doom dak doom dak. Something like that. Listen again. And by the way, this song is called Hammering, and it's dedicated, of course, to my beautiful neighbors who love to use the hammer tool whenever I make recordings. It feels like that, and so I thought, okay, give up and call the song Hammering, and it goes on and off. You see it in the weird parts. Here are moments where everything falls apart, then the hammer comes back more or less, and this effect at the end I think this is very interesting here. I added some weird effects and breaks to make it a little bit chaotic. So this is is already the outro here, and I decided for a fade out. Why not? Because I think maybe it creates the effect that the listener thinks, oh, is the album over now? Is it fading out? And then comes the last song of the album, which is also a beautiful one, I think. And it's simply called All For Now. And okay, I told you, it's lighthearted, no worries, have fun when you listen to the album. And you can listen to Future Sonata on all the streaming platforms, of course, and maybe if you want to really support me, you can download the album on Amazon, or even better, maybe on Bandcamp, because there you can download better quality files and not just MP3. Just have a look in the show notes, aka video description. Yeah, and I hope you enjoyed this listening session here together with me. I can tell you, it's quite weird to talk about your music. I normally never did it like that, okay? And it's a new experience, but I really enjoy it. Yeah, and one more thing, in case you wonder, the artist name is not The Ground Noise this time, because the ground noise, yeah, I use the ground noise mostly for stuff we make here on the channel. But this one, Future Sonata, is a personal one. And so I use my normal project name, Hofmeister, which is just my family name as an artist name. And I even have 2 more artist names. Can you believe that? But enough for now. I thank you very much for watching and for your support. Please also don't forget to leave a like and do all the good things. And yeah, let me know if you're interested in listening to the other 6 songs in a way we did it today. But that's it for today. I hope to see you soon in the next one.